So one of the messages that you share with audiences is built on this idea of practical experimentation. What is that?
It's this practical experimentation, and the idea is, how do you marry being practical, so getting a job where you get paid a decent amount of money that you can actually maintain, the lifestyle that you're trying to achieve, to how do you also pursue your passions and be very experimental and take the risks that you want to take without fear.
Yeah.
How do you do both?
Yeah.
And someone just gave a great example today. She said her daughter came up to her and said, do you have a trust fund for me? Because if you have a trust fund for me, I'm going to drop out and be a photographer today. I'm going to drop out of school, and that's what I want to do. But if you don't have a trust fund for me, I'll stay in school and I'll get a minor in photography. And I thought that was an interesting, right? So it's trying to balance both. So it's probably not the person who's going to drop out, today, drop out of school and become a photographer tomorrow. And it's playing, balancing with that path of how do you do what people tell you should do, and how do you actually do what you want to do, and how do you find those both? So I have examples of people that do different things. I have a friend who's a cardiologist, and she really does enjoy that. But she also is a phenomenal musician and wanted to pursue a career of being a professional musician. So that means touring and doing these different events. So she went to the hospital she worked at and said, I want to work 3 days a week. I want to work 3 or 4 days a week. And the other 2 days, I'm going to be traveling with my band. I'm pulling together a band, and that's what I do. And that's what she does. Yeah. So, that's one way of creating that environment for yourself. How do you do both? What you think, she genuinely does enjoy medicine, but doesn't feel fulfilled with that being the only thing she's doing. So it's finding that, pursuing your passions by being experimental and marrying that to just being practical. Practical experimentation.